I can't fool myself. I don't want nobody else to ever love me. You are my shining star, my guiding light, my love fantasy. There's not a minute, hour, day, or night that I don't love you. You're at the top of my list because I'm always thinking of you. What's going on, you folks? And welcome to Women of a Particular Age podcast, where we discuss women's views, life lessons, and a little bit of sugar honey iced tea. Y'all, what's going on? Check out my background. I don't know where I think I'm at. Look at it. Piano, couch, table, player. I'm a player, and I'm playing just to win. Sorry, a little bit of too short. Y'all, how's it going? How are you guys doing? It is Sunday today, but you won't be getting this till Wednesday, and you'll be getting a snippet on tonight and on maybe Tuesday. How's it going, you guys? I hope everything is going well. My weekend is good. Got to spend some time with my husband. Got to do some personal stuff by myself. Do some things for both of us together. Got to spend some time with my adult children. And now I'm on here with y'all. So, y'all, before we get started, let's talk about some church business, okay? Because there's a lot of things that happened during this week and over the weekend. So let's talk about it. But before we get started, please like, share, and subscribe. JollyStudios@gmail.com, www.jollystudios.com. All right, let's do it. So let's talk about it. First things first. Let's talk about church business. Let's talk about a couple of things that's happened in the news. We won't stay on them for a long period of time, but we will talk about them. We want to acknowledge people. So, one of the things that happened in the news is, y'all, let's talk about Angie Stone. Rest in peace, Angie Stone. Y'all, this week, Angie Stone died in a very tragic car accident. Oh, she was in a van with 9 other people, and she was on her way, I guess, to do some type of a gig. And the van was hit by a semi, and she was the one that was unalived. So you guys, please keep her son Michael and her daughter Diamond in prayer. Please lift them up as they are probably missing their mother like crazy. Okay, so I wanted to make sure we talked about that. Let's also talk about this. Let's talk about y'all. Let's talk about Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa. They were both found in their home, unalived. One of their dogs was unalived, and two of the other dogs with malnutrition. Now, right now, for this case, it's still under investigation, it's still pending. They don't know how both of these persons were unalived. But listen, y'all, let's talk about Gene Hackman, okay? Because he's a very prominent actor. We're going to miss him. Let's talk about some of the things that he's done. And if you're an oldie but a goodie, you're going to know what these first things were. He was in Bonnie and Clyde, The French Connection, Young Frankenstein, Superman 1, 2, and 4, Mississippi Burning, The Firm, Wyatt Earp, The Birdcage, one of my favorites, Enemy of the State, Will Smith, Enemy Behind Enemy Lines, and The Royal Tenenbaums. If you haven't ever seen The Royal Tenenbaums, ooh, that is a movie right there, okay? But y'all, they are still investigating this. It's still pending. So keep your eyes out on the news. Once again, we don't know how they were unalived. So right now, we're just waiting to hear back. Okay. And one more thing. I know you guys heard about Joy Reid. That was one of the things that I thought was disappointing, that Joy Reid was let go from MSNBC. Joy Reid is always very informative, and she's always very fair. I was very disappointed by hearing this, but I am going to tell you this. What I was always told. I was always told when one door closes, another door opens. So you guys look forward to seeing Joy Reid in the future. Okay. Because we're not done with Joy Reid yet. Okay. So we'll be seeing her again. Okay. She's a very, very smart lady. She knows her stuff. And watch, we'll probably see her somewhere on a podcast. You know what I'm hoping? I'm hoping that we could get some of these podcasters. We know that they're they do separate projects, and this is something that me and my friend Elizabeth talked about. Elizabeth, she's so smart. She comes up with all these things. Wouldn't it be great to have each one of these people do separate podcasts, but do them together, like Don Lemon, Joy Reid. What is the other? What is the? There's another podcast. I can't think of the name. Um, but there's a couple of them. If they could do a podcast together, and we could hear all of their minds together at one time, wouldn't that be wonderful? Now I'm gonna tell you guys, I didn't come up with that idea. My friend Liz came up with that idea. So I'm gonna give that to Lizzie because she's the one that came up with that. All right. So let's talk about the topic that I came up with, which is, do we do that? Doing the same things, expecting different results. Now, I know what I forgot before I got started. Ooh, y'all, what did I forget? Mm. Okay, now I got it together. Let's go back. Do we do that? Doing the same things, expecting different results. Yeah. Is this a topic? Now, you guys, come on. I know I'm not the only one that does this, and it doesn't matter what the topic is, what it is specifically, but there usually is something that we do the same of, and we keep doing it, and we'll keep doing the same things, expecting different results, the same pattern, the same way, knowing we've done it over and over again and it don't work. Well, let's talk about why we do it. Let's talk about it. Okay. So I can tell you from researching this, one of the things why we do it is comfort and familiar. Now, people might stick to familiar routines or behaviors even when they aren't working because change can be of uncomfortable, of challenging, uncomfortable and challenging, leading them to avoid taking necessary steps to adjust their approach. That's hitting it on the head right there. One of the reasons why we keep doing it over and over again is because we want to make the change, but the change is uncomfortable. And y'all, why is it uncomfortable? Hmm. Is it uncomfortable because we want to make the change, but not really want to make the change? Or what we're saying that what my mother says, we're straddling the fence. We're doing this instead of being one way. I'm not saying it's you. I'm just saying that's one of the things my mother used to tell me, that we don't make the changes because we're still straddling the fence. All right. Let's go on to the next. Lack of reflection. Sometimes individuals might not adequately analyze their actions and the results they are getting, preventing them from recognizing the need to change their strategy. Meaning that you know that you need to you're making an observation that you need to make the change, but sometimes we don't know how to make the change, or we haven't really observed a way to really make changes. So we just say, okay, we're going to do it. And then what ends up happening is we do it, but we don't do it. We're doing this again. We're being Waverly. So we're right back to the same pattern. Okay. And the last but not least, emotional factors. Let's talk about that. Emotions like hope, optimism, or even denial can sometimes cloud judgment, making people believe that if they just try one more time, the outcome will be different, even if the evidence suggests otherwise. What did I just tell you? What did I just say? What did I just say? Keep doing the same things, expecting different results, being Waverly. And then we're going to try it again. You know why we want to try it again? Because we don't want to change the pattern. Okay, now let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What can be done to avoid the pattern? Let's talk about that because we just found out that this is a pattern, means something you do over and over and over and over and over again. So let's talk about it. One thing is self-awareness. Actively reflect on your actions and their consequences to identify areas where you might be repeating ineffective behaviors. Folks, let me tell you something. And this is just me coming from a spiritual place. I always notice that for a lot of these things lead right back to the Bible for me. I notice that when I'm in my word, like I get up in the morning, 30 minutes a day before I get started. And when I pray about things like this, and I really not pray, but meditate about things like this, I notice that there's some self-awareness about this. If we keep trying to do this on our own, sometimes it doesn't work on our own. Sometimes we need to, I ain't gonna say sometimes. For me, I need to pray. I need to give it to God. I need to ask God for guidance. And also, too, in the Bible, there's lots of scriptures that will help you about this. Because a lot of times we say that we're ready to change, but sometimes, y'all, we're not really ready to change. Okay? Now, let's talk about the next. Okay? Let's talk about the next thing, which is seeking feedback. Ask for constructive criticism from others to gain a different perspective on your action and their outcomes. Now, I don't have a problem with you asking for constructive criticism, but if you're going to do it with people that you trust. Okay? Because everyone is not for you. And sometimes people give you advice, giving it to you from a personal space. Okay? Once again, when I have issues, I go to God. I trust God. It's not that I don't trust my friends. I do speak with them, but they're humans like I am. And they're making the same mistakes, or they have issues just like I am. That's like I do. And they're not perfect and I'm not perfect. So sometimes it's good for me to go to the Lord and take it to prayer. Okay? Now, the next one. Development adaptability. Embrace change and willing to adjust your strategies based on new information and circumstances. Meaning, if you're going to make adjustments, make different adjustments. Don't say you're going to do it different and do it the same way. You got to do it different. It has to be different. And I'm still going to urge you again. Please, in things that you do, if you're a person of prayer or you're a person of God, put God in the midst, because that, to me, that's the only way it works. Unless you have God in the midst of it, I don't see it working any other way. And that's just me. So that's just me. That's the way that I think. Just giving you my observation of how I think. So now, y'all, let's switch gears. Because I saw a movie. I saw this movie when it came out, but I just wanted to talk about it now. And then there's a series I want to talk about. So let's get to talking about, and I don't want to say it's a movie, sorry, it's a documentary. So let me be clear, documentary and a series. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And it is Hulu, Luther, Never Too Much. Let's get you a picture. Y'all look at Luther Vandross. Don't he look good? Don't he look good? He always look good. So y'all listen. Let's talk about Luther Vandross, okay? Now this was on Filmax. It was 102 minutes. This came out in 2024. And let's talk about the description of the documentary. The captivating story of Luther Vandross, from his early Sesame Street appearances to becoming the undisputed master of love songs. Y'all, let me tell you something. This documentary on Luther, it was wonderful. It was great to see Luther Vandross. It was great to hear about his story. And I'm going to tell you something. You know, every time I hear something about Luther, I get so excited, but I get sad. If you look at this documentary, you will see that he didn't get to live a full life the way that he wanted to. He worked with a lot of incredible people. He even did commercials. And I'm going to tell you something. His one song, Any Love, If you see this documentary, or if you haven't seen it, you go see it. It's on Hulu. Or if you have seen it, when you hear the song Any Love, you're not going to hear it the same anymore. Now that you hear the background of what the song meant to him, it's a whole lot different. Okay? So listen, if you have a chance, go see it. It was really, really good. I loved it. I thought it was great. And hey, check it out. Now, let's talk about this series real quick. Now, I saw a series. I'm seeing a series on Amazon Prime since it first started, which is Amazon Prime Reacher. I don't know about y'all. If y'all know who Reacher is, now this is going to be the second series of Reacher. Let's talk about the description of Reacher, because Reacher is a trip. Reacher is an American action crime television series developed by Nick Santora of Amazon Prime Videos. Let me tell y'all something. Reacher, y'all ain't no punk. This dude is way out, okay? He is a big Caucasian, and I don't want to be disrespectful, corn-fed dude who is out like just fighting crime and helping people all over the place. Now, Reacher is based on Jack Reacher book series by Lee Child. It stars Alan Ritchson as the title character, a self-proclaimed hobo and former U.S. Army military policeman with formidable strength and intelligence. Y'all, I'ma tell y'all, if y'all get a chance, please check out Jack Reacher. Okay? Reacher is not no punk. He is very entertaining. He be fighting folks, but in all these series, he's constantly helping people. But I have to say it the way I have to say it. Reacher is a badass. Okay? So please, y'all, if you guys get a chance, check out Jack Reacher. Reacher is really, really good. It's a really, really awesome series. I love it. My husband is the one that turned me on to that series. And ever since I've been watching it, it's been, man, every time it comes on, I will stop whatever I'm doing to check out Jack Reacher. Please don't trip. Don't sleep on Jack Reacher. All right, y'all. So listen, thank you so much for joining me with this podcast. Before you leave, please like, share, and subscribe. jollystudios@gmail.com, www.jollystudios.com. Now, remember today's subject, which is, do we do that? Doing the same things, expecting different results. Let me know in the comments. Do you do it? Say, yeah, I do it. You don't have to say what you do. Say, yeah, I do it. If you want to elaborate, elaborate. I don't mind sharing with you guys because I love sharing with you guys. I think it's cool. I'm good with it. It doesn't bother me. But I just wanted to hear what you guys thought and how you guys feel. So listen, folks, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I'll be seeing you guys again. Peace.